Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another coffee rant with Dano and Frank, our Patriot Bald Eagle. You have to hit pause on this video to get your coffee or whatever beverage you deem necessary. Go ahead and do that now. This may be a lengthy discussion. So I read an interesting article from Newsweek today, and it's starting to spread. It's starting to spread. We have illegal foods being sold here in the United States. And apparently this is not the first time this has happened. Okay? So we're going to read from Newsweek here. Get your coffee. Have coffee with us tonight, guys. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Hopefully everybody has had a good week. We're going to go over a few things with this. I'm going to wait. We're going to read a little bit from this. I kind of felt like maybe our listeners would want to hear this. I know it's pretty disturbing, so... Public health alert issued in 9 states over illegally imported food. Like I said, this is not the first time this has happened. They go on to say, meat, fish, and poultry products are the subject of a public health alert issued by the Department of Agriculture's Food Safety and Inspection Service, or the FSIS, after they were illegally imported to the U.S. from Myanmar. Myanmar is formerly Burma, which is in Southeast Asia. And to give you a little, I had to look it up. I kind of wanted to look up the pronunciation. I was pronouncing it Myanmar, but it's Myanmar. And I guess since about 1990, I guess it was Burma, right? The language there is Burmese. Okay. And one thing I noticed about it is, like, because, I try to do a little bit of research on somewhere before I start talking about it. And it's like, you Google... is it safe to visit Myanmar? And what happens is no. It comes up, no, it is not. It is civil unrest. Lots of things going on over there that are dangerous. Poor health is a big one. Poor hospital service. Lots of things you may want to look up yourself. But I was just kind of reading through it mostly because I wanted to find out just a little bit about where it was and what was coming from there. Some of the things that we're about to read right now. Whatever they called it a level 4 as far as visiting this place. And Google did not recommend it. So just wanted to kind of paint that picture real quick. You can Google Myanmar, right? See if it's see if it meets the standards of food quality here in the U.S. We got a lot in this conversation. I am going to give some of my opinions as well as we go along, so stay tuned for that. The FSIS announced on Thursday that 6 cans and 1 vacuum-sealed clear package of meat, poultry, curry, paste, dry fish, and duck blood were being illegally sold in 9 states across the U.S. Myanmar is not eligible to export meat or dairy products into the U.S., but surveillance activities undertaken by the FSIS found that these foods from Myanmar were being sold in American stores. Its investigation into how these products entered the country is ongoing. The FSIS is urging customers not to consume these products and to throw them away or return them to where they were bought instead. The agency is also urging retailers who may have purchased these products not to sell them. Newsweek, who we are reading this from, Newsweek has contacted the FSIS for comment, which it doesn't, I don't see a comment, but... and then they go on to these products that are included. Some of this pronunciation might be a little difficult. Let's see. The products were illegally imported to the U.S. from Myanmar and is subject to a public health alert issued by the USDA's Food Safety and Inspection Service. Consumers are being urged not to consume these products. Return them. Get your money back. Okay, so the one here is Best Beef Curry. Like in capital letters, Best, and beef curry, 180-gram cans. Again, you can look on Newsweek's website to check this out if you believe you may have purchased any of these products. And then Best, in all capital, it's the brand Best. Chicken biryani, 425-gram cans. The HTI Miigwek, Timigwik dry Mohinga paste, 360-gram cans. The Best brand of Miami or Myanmar duck blood, 425 gram cans. And then the Yain Shak Mohinga paste, 400 gram cans. Min Thar Ghee dried fish, okay? And then Yain, E-A-I-N, chalk coconut soup paste. Okay, and these are the products that have been illegally sold here across 9 states. And something interesting about that we're going to talk about here in just a second. There have been no confirmed reports of adverse reactions in relation to these products, but the FSIS website advises that anyone concerned about an illness should contact a healthcare provider. The products do not bear an establishment number nor a USDA mark of inspection. They include cans sold under the brand name, quote, best, end quote, including beef curry, chicken biryani, B as in boy, I-R-Y-A-N-I, biryani, chicken biryani, and Myanmar duck blood. That just doesn't sound too avid. What would you use duck blood for? I don't know. I was reading that. I was like, I don't know. I mean, I guess it's used in some stuff. Who knows? Canned paste were also being sold, including Timi Gwick dry mohinga paste and Yain Chak mohinga paste, which both contained catfish, and Yain Chak coconut soup paste, which contained chicken. Now, the Min Thar Ghee, okay, the dried fish, was also subject to this public health alert. Okay, now here's where it gets interesting. The products were sold in retail locations in Arizona, California, Iowa, Kansas, Maryland, Minnesota, Nebraska, Oklahoma, and Texas. Okay, now there's something interesting about this. Let me see if I can flip my computer here so I can show you. Give me just a second. Okay. Now, you know how we've always talked about things coming from within, right? How a lot of this has happened from within. Look at this. Direct line through the middle of the United States. Yeah, we have California over here. We've got Maryland over here. And then we've got Arizona off to the west. But for the most part, this is a direct line down the middle of the country. Now, if you guys remember, and there may not be, I may be reading into this a little too much, okay? But when everything was happening, when we were having all the different shortages a year ago, still happening, shortages still happening, whether due to many multitude of reasons. But we saw things that were happening from within. People on the east of us, people on the west of us didn't know what we were talking about. And then like a month or two later, it was spreading out from within, from the Midwest. And it was like all this stuff was spreading out from the middle. Okay, and I just find it very interesting that this literally cuts a direct line through the middle of the country of these products that are being illegally sold. How are they? We need answers. Let's keep reading here. We may find them. I don't know. I saw that and I was like, that looks very familiar to a lot of the problems that we've been having in this country. Okay, lots of things from shortages to prices skyrocketing to things not coming in, shortages being the main factor here. But if you guys remember years ago, we would put together our map. We literally had things mapped out on highways where things weren't coming in. And we were literally able to tell someone in Illinois, hey, if you got it, get it, because it's heading that way. Because, you see, we live in Cincinnati. Then what happened, we had viewers in Indianapolis and some northern Indy. And then it would just keep going now through Chicago. So we were literally able to kind of pin some of these things down. That's why we always say abbreviate your state where you see any of these major price increases or shortages so that we know where it's coming from or how soon your friend or family member in a different state, how long they may have to be able to find said product. Anyway, just kind of just throwing that out there. I don't know how true that is. I just thought it was funny that this is a direct line. Let's see here real quick. Okay, so Arizona, California are the two states out on the West Coast, and then far east as Maryland. But here we have Minnesota, okay, down to, let's see, Minnesota down to Iowa, down to Nebraska, down to Oklahoma, or I'm sorry, Kansas, Oklahoma, and down to Texas. Finally, Texas. A direct line. And if I was researching this, if I was in charge of the Food Safety and Inspection Service, the FSIS, that is exactly what I would be doing. I would look at the truck lines or the train lines that are going down the straight middle of the country here. Because it is direct. It's not like sporadic all over the place here. It is directly straight. So whatever highway that is, which I'm not going to do the research on that, but I mean, a highway going through Minnesota, let's see, through Minnesota, Kansas, Oklahoma, it cuts over to Oklahoma, so whatever major highway cuts from, Iowa, so Minnesota to Iowa, and then there has to be a highway going west or southwest of a direct north and south highway, cuts through Nebraska, oh yeah, down to Oklahoma and then Texas. Like I said, I may be reading a little more into that than is needed, but I mean, those of you who've been following the channel for a long time, there's been a lot of things that have happened that have been bad, that have happened from the inside of the country and out. I think most people usually think that if something's going to happen, it's going to happen from the east or the west coast. Different things coming in, different ports and stuff like that. Somehow this was able to get into the country. I don't know. Let's keep reading. Consumers with food safety questions can call the Department of Agriculture toll-free meat and poultry hotline at 888-674-6854 or send a question via email to mphotline@usda.gov. I don't know how well that's going to help you. This incident is not the first of its kind. It's what I really wanted to get into right here. The incident is not the first of its kind this year. Just remember, back in August, the FSIS issued a similar public health alert for 17 meat and poultry products that had been illegally imported to the U.S. from Myanmar. 8 of those products were curry-related, and all but 2 were sold under the brand name, quote, Grandma, end quote. Under the brand name Grandma. That sounds pretty innocent, don't it? Nobody's going to argue with a product named Grandma. I don't know, guys. I keep falling down the rabbit hole of recalls and price increases. It's just like, it's coming, guys. It is coming. The price increases on things, the more and more these things get wiped out, the more and more these big companies are going to have to pay, like McDonald's and all these other places, all the stores that are getting rid of all the Bruce Pack. I don't know. It's bigger than I even thought it would be. I know we said it was going to get bigger, but this is getting like apocalyptic levels here. I mean, it's like, no, I'm not, I don't mean that. Like, I'm just saying, like, it's getting bigger than I think anybody ever realized. It's every day. There's a lot more too. There's a lot more that I'm just going to have to cover in another coffee rant, because I wanted to cover this today because this could be part of the problem. Let's read on. The illegally imported fare included sardines and tomato sauce. Now, this is the one back in August. The illegally imported fare included sardines and tomato sauce, fried carp with curry paste, a nabis curry, steamed carp fish with salt, chickpea curry, steamed NGO or Gogin fish. Again, I apologize. I'm probably destroying some of this pronunciation. Carp fish in fermented soybeans, catfish and noni, striped catfish and tomato curry, striped catfish and mango curry, and OHN Onoko Swe chicken, SWE chicken. The public health alert comes hot on the heels of a mass food poisoning outbreak. This is Newsweek, okay? This is from Newsweek. The public health alert comes hot on the heels of a mass food poisoning outbreak linked to McDonald's recalls connected to that outbreak and the recall of taco kits over possible bacteria contamination. We just found out about the taco kits. I haven't even, spoiler alert for what's coming in the next coffee run, I guess. I don't know, guys. These maybe, I know this video is getting a little long here, but we're starting to kind of piece some things together here. Now, I'm not saying that this is a massive finger pointer to what's happening, but it very well could be. And we need to pay attention to these things. Okay, let's go on here. Well, okay, that was it. That was it with the Newsweek. But this is something that is gotten more attention now. And you notice how we're talking about on the heels of this McDonald's thing. Is there? I question: is there a relation? Is there a relation to this? Now I don't know. We'll continue to keep updated on this. And you know, these products, I'm not going to lie, some of these products I've never heard of before. So I don't really know. But products should not be coming into our country illegally. They're not inspected. They're not being looked over in a lab, obviously. And that is what we've been talking about throughout all these different recalls, is how is this stuff constantly slipping through the fingers? How is this continuing every day? Every day. You would think that from the Lord knows how many recalls we have had over the last year and a half, that all of these companies would be, for one, they're watching, right? Somebody's watching, hopefully. You would clean up your act. Since Quaker and Tyson and you know, just all these different companies that have had issues over the last couple of years, major companies, you know, I read something like this and it's like, is this kind of something that people really aren't talking about? And here they got caught. Well, guys, that is all I got for tonight. Everybody have a great weekend. I know I hate to always deliver the doom and gloom, guys, and I know most of this is opinionated. Okay, my thoughts on this is very opinionated. I don't know enough about this, but again, these things are happening so fast at an alarming rate. I feel like it's important to get this information out as quick as possible. Sometimes if we can be the ones to kind of connect the dots, maybe we'll be able to find the answers. That way we can stay ahead of the game and keep these things from happening in the future. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a great night.